What's going on, traders? Welcome back to another video. What we're going to do is we're going to recap some of the trades that I made for the day. So we're going to be finishing the day up here about $800 profit, give or take. Or wait, no, we're going to be finishing about $750 profit. So going to walk you through the trades on the day. So first trade here is on SKYS. I ended up making about $150. So let's go full screen on this. We'll get in here and go to show trades, apply, okay. So traded total 4,000 shares and I'm making $155. So you can see my entry down here was for 4,000 at $1.39. Ended up taking off the 4,000 here at 141. Once I just kind of felt we weren't going to get that big penny stock move up. So ended up trading 4,000 shares, making $155. Is what it is. Not a crazy good trade, but money is money, and that's good. So, I seen it holding here pre-market. Right, we open up, shoots up, comes back, holds the 200 moving average. I see a bunch of sellers coming in. It's not breaking down. It's like, okay, it's probably going to squeeze a bit. So hop in 4,000 shares here at $1.39, which is right there. Ended up selling at $1.41. So a 2-cent per share gain. Basically nothing, right? It's basically a pointless trade. Ended up being for the most part. And so, it just, shot up, hit the pre-market resistance, kind of in all this selling area from the other day. Just really not a whole lot going on. Not enough volume, not enough volatility to keep it pushing up over the previous high. So again, longing off here, off it hits support of the 200, see it hold, get in long, basically turns into a pointless scalp trade. $150. Next one I traded was Walmart. Walmart wasn't a bad trade. It was actually honestly, it was actually a really good trade. Because I recognized some resistance up here. So I ended up getting short 150 shares at 103.42, which is like 103.40, which is right here. We make a little bit of money. I don't take it off. I hold, wait for the retrace, and then a move lower. We don't get it, and I recognize we're going to squeeze up, so I take it off. So this was a perfect trade of, shorting a rollover, letting it retrace to see if we get the secondary move down, and then realizing you were going to be wrong and taking it off before obviously accumulating more of a loss. So this was basically a scratch trade. Short 150 shares at 103.40, cover 150 shares at 103.72. So actually made, a little bit of money on that trade. 3 cents. So we got $4. So basically another pointless scratch trade. Now here is the stock that really made me money and made me lose money on the day. So for one, we had an absolutely terrible trade here. I was right, but it was just terrible way that I executed it originally. So we're going to go over this, right? So UNIT, major gap down from $20 down to $10.70. Everyone's like, should we short it? Should we short it? I'm like, no, probably not, because it's already down $10 a share on the day. That's a really big drop. Shorting into that weakness probably isn't the right move. So it ends up squeezing up, and in the meantime, while it's squeezing up like this, I was trading, SKYS and Walmart, so wasn't actively focusing on this. All right, so it pops up. I see it hit the 200 moving average, pulls back, holds the 9 moving average. I'm like, all right, this has a chance to squeeze back up over the 200. So I get in long 1,500 shares, or was it 2,000? I got in long 2,000 at $12.48, which is on this green candle. Pops up, I'm up like $300, $400. Right? Then it gets sold down again on this candle. This candle was actually holding very well after these 2 big sell wicks. I'm like, okay, this definitely has potential to keep squeezing. So I added in another 1,000 or 1,500 shares at $12.46.90. And then, of course, it breaks down, and I'm negative like maybe 1,800 or 1,200 or something like that. Pops up again, and I'm like, all right, here we go. And then it shoots back down, and it rolls over. And this is where I'm like, okay, now that we have this rolling over look, I'm like, this is where I don't want to risk it breaking below this previous low, because then I'm going to accumulate a loss of probably $2,000. I was originally going to hold until the VWAP and the 50 moving average right here, but I'm like, well, if I'm wrong and this does break down to the VWAP, I'm going to get about a $2,000 loss in the day. I can deal with the $2,000 loss. I just didn't want to. So I took it off, and I think I was down $1,200 at this point. So what's wrong with this trade? It has wrong all over it, right? Nice, beautiful, long move. We're right at the 200 moving average. We hadn't even had really a successful dip on the day. So I was really just buying into the high. heavy shares, buying into the high, anticipating another move up, which I'm right. We do get the other move up. But the problem was the way I was thinking of my trade was the way I was trading just wasn't the right way for the setup. Meaning, as you can see, I was in 3,500 shares there, and I'm looking for this move. Well, we're probably not going to get this long move off of this long move, right? Because we already moved up big. It's more likely to have a dip and then we rip. And I hop in here with 3,500 shares looking for this kind of move after this move without a dip. It was just dumb. So I did hold through the pain, and I could have held and been correct again, but I didn't want to risk this breaking the support, then I get a big loss. So this is just a terrible trade all over it. So again, your takeaway from this is once a stock is running up super high on the day, try your best not to buy the high anticipating a big move like this. Only buy highs like this when you're scalp trading. So I could have easily scalped this and made money. And that's the setup I should have been going for, is more of like a scalp entry here in trade. But I was really buying in for a long move like this, and I was just the wrong time to be buying for that particular move. So again, we take it off, we lose like $1,200. All right, so the next trade here is 2,700 shares after it does in fact hold the support here. Get in long here, 2,700 shares at 1230. So we're in long like right here. Oop, I shouldn't have done that. So we're in long 1230, which is like right here where my cursor's at. In long, ride it all the way up to 13. So we get it at 1230. We ride it to 1310. So an 80-cent trade there on 2,700 shares. I take off 2,000. All right. And then I see some weakness, so I take off another 300, and then I see this is a little bit of a higher low. Excuse me, I got to get a different drawing tool up here. Okay, so I see this as a slight little double top and lower high. So I'm like, well, this could start a downtrend. So we'll play it safe, take off another 200 shares at 1290, and then we hold the rest, and then I get my last little shares off at 200 here. So nonetheless, perfect trade here. I mean, kind of, but very beautiful trade here after extremely ugly trade. So it's like, this is what I wanted, this move, but I just entered wrong. The timing was wrong. It was all wrong. Everything was wrong about that trade in the way I was trading it. Now, I knew that I wasn't wrong. I knew I was actually right, but I just got it in the wrong time. So the trade was probably going to do what I wanted it to do, and that's why I felt comfortable hopping right back in after we had this slight little double bottom here and holding, breaking 9, breaking moving average. So we hop back in, 2,700, ride it up. And so then that gets me back up to 747 on the day with this stock, and then the other win with SKYS, so nonetheless, pretty good day. And then there was this NVDA trade that was basically pointless, but I was with my group and I was like, yeah, sure, we can do this one in real time. Why not? You'll see it was right there. It was like this quick, just basically pointless trade. I'm like, all right, this thing's in a wedge. It could break out. It's been failing ever since. I'm like, all right, sure, we'll give it a shot. And then I bought them. I'm like, it's just a pointless trade. So you can see, right, in 500, out 500. Once I already realized, like, there was no point of really trading that. That was more of one of those ego things where you're like, yeah, we'll trade this in real time with the group just to kind of show them. And then you're like, why did you even do that? Just really pointless, not even worth it. So I ended up losing $84 for nothing. So this is the one where you can say, Connor, you sure are an idiot for taking that trade. Basically pointless. You even knew it. You even said yourself on the day that NVIDIA, once it shot up and did this, it probably wasn't going to have much volatility afterwards, considering it just had its earnings day and it filled the gap all the way to the downside, and it's just basically a pointless trade here. So nonetheless, basically pointless to even have traded NVIDIA on the day there. So anyways, those are the trades. We ended up, let's see where we are profit-wise on the day. Just to double check. Okay, oh, that's not it. So here it is. Profit on the day, $769. ICPT was an accidental trade for the day. NVIDIA, we went over that one. SKYS, we went over that one. UNIT, we went over that one. VRNS was a trade I'd been holding for multiple days. And then WMT, we went over. So $769 on the day. Couple trades, accuracy, okay, not amazing, but nonetheless a green day, and I'm happy about it. So there you guys have it for today's trade recaps. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Always give us a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. Anything you guys can do to help out the channel, do really appreciate it. Stay tuned for tomorrow's live stream, and I'll be back on later today with another video for you guys. Take care.